The grammar and structure of the paragraph needs some refinement for clarity and flow while ensuring that the word count is maintained. Here's the revised version. It's not surprising that Lil Durk is taking drastic measures to clear his name, especially given the fact that some of his associates are believed to be informants. We've recently learned that Durk may have snitched on King Von in the past, and what we've uncovered is truly shocking. The initial court hearing for Durk isn't looking promising as he is facing the death penalty. On October 29th, Durk appeared in court and fortunately for him, his fiancée India Royale was seen outside the Miami courtroom where he was scheduled to meet with a judge for a pre-sentencing hearing. At present, we know that Durk is awaiting transfer to Louisiana, the state where the alleged crimes took place. Prosecutors have released court records that reveal some intriguing details about Durk's case and his current situation in prison. One of the reports claims that Durk offered a monetary reward to someone he was at odds with, adding another layer to the ongoing speculation about his involvement in criminal activities. Rumors of snitching have circulated within his inner circle, and we've recently learned that 2 of his co-defendants have waived their detention hearings and will be sent directly to Los Angeles to face a federal judge. The primary charge Durk is facing is retaliation for King Von's murder, a plot allegedly ordered by T.B. Banks. The hitman involved reportedly used Banks's and OTF-related funds to carry out the killing. It seems that our block is in turmoil right now, which may explain why some members of Durk's crew are willing to come forward while Durk faces serious charges. Despite the gravity of the situation, Durk doesn't seem to be entirely despondent. Contrary to what one might expect, he appears to be enjoying his time in prison, at least to some extent. Reports from the Miami facility where he's currently incarcerated suggest that Durk is in good spirits and has been described as charming and well-liked by the other inmates. Sources have also stated that his main issue in prison has been with the food. Moreover, it has been reported that Durk is preparing to enter a not guilty plea, which indicates that he still has faith in his defense team, despite the considerable evidence stacked against him. If the case doesn't go in his favor, Durk could face the death penalty, but he doesn't seem overly concerned at this point. Perhaps it's the support from his family and fans that keeps him hopeful. We recently learned that his father attended his pre-trial hearing and images of the father and son have surfaced online. This may very well be one of the last opportunities for Durk to see his father for a while. An alleged video has surfaced claiming to show Durk at his most recent court appearance in Miami. However, his next hearing will take place in the Central District of California. Because his bond has been denied, it's likely he'll remain in jail until the completion of his trials. As mentioned earlier, the charges against him are extremely serious, and the prosecution claims that he masterminded a plot to kill Quando Rondo, the man many hold responsible for King Von's death. This conspiracy allegedly took place near the Beverly Center in Los Angeles in 2022, which led to the shooting death of Rondo's cousin. According to the LA Justice Department, Durk, along with 5 other individuals, was involved in the plot to kill Quando Rondo. Durk is the leader of the Chicago-based rap group OTF, which authorities claim operates as both a gang and a music collective. CCTV footage from the 2020 incident, which reportedly shows an attempted assassination, has also been made public. The shooting occurred after King Von punched Quando Rondo, who was subsequently shot and killed by one of Rondo's associates, sparking a dangerous chain of events that now links Durk to the unfolding drama. The stakes are incredibly high for Durk as he faces an uphill battle in court, with his freedom and future hanging in the balance. The grammar and structure of the paragraph can be improved for clarity and flow while retaining the original word count. Here is the revised version. Prosecutors argue that OTF traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles 2 years ago to track down and exact revenge on Quando Rondo. They allegedly fired 18 rounds into the car containing Quando Rondo after pursuing him throughout the day. Durk may have believed he had gotten away with it due to the 2-year gap, but it seems that the FBI had been quietly building their case, waiting for the right moment to strike. A few days before his arrest, the feds pursued the men who were allegedly involved in the shooting. 5 of them were arrested in Chicago. According to reports, Durk attempted to flee the country as soon as he became aware of the investigation. It's claimed that he booked 3 different flights in an effort to delay his trial, but his plan didn't succeed. The FBI stated that the fact that Mr. Banks was apprehended while trying to leave the country further proves the extent of their reach, which is supported by their strong partnership with the Los Angeles Police Department. It appears the FBI is intensifying its efforts to take down some of the biggest names in rap, focusing on figures who are not only influential in the music industry but are also allegedly tied to various criminal activities. Among those under investigation is Lil Durk, whose legal troubles have sparked considerable public debate. Although the full scope of the evidence against him remains unclear, there's increasing speculation about the potential fallout from his crew's actions. Some believe that as long as his associates remain silent, Durk might be able to avoid the worst consequences. However, whispers behind closed doors suggest that the loyalty of his OTF only the family crew may not be as firm as it seems. In fact, rumors have emerged that members of OTF may be turning on one another, with one particularly disturbing claim suggesting that Durk may have betrayed his close associate King Von in November 2023 by potentially cooperating with authorities. The allegation that Durk might have snitched on King Von to gain an advantage in his legal battles is not only shocking but also fuels the ongoing debate about loyalty, trust, and betrayal within the rap community. Adding to the controversy, Charleston White, a figure known for his bold and often controversial statements, has spoken out on the matter. White suggested that Von's tragic death could be connected to a larger betrayal, claiming Von was killed for beating on someone smaller than him, and further insinuating that Durk might have turned on Von to secure a legal victory. While this may sound like a wild accusation to some, the idea that Durk could betray Von isn't entirely without merit, given the cutthroat nature of the rap world. Charleston White's perspective on Durk goes beyond this alleged betrayal. Over the years, White has repeatedly criticized Durk, going as far as to label him an agent of darkness. According to White, Durk's public persona, which centers around themes of violence and negativity, paints a picture of a man aligned with destructive forces. If everything about you is dark, then what does that make you? White asked, pointing out that Durk's music and public image are deeply rooted in violence, death, and chaos. White's critique isn't limited to the events surrounding Von's death, but extends to Durk's entire brand and lyrical content, which often glorify themes of murder, revenge, and street life. White's words serve as a sharp critique of Durk's public image. He argues that if everything Durk represents is associated with destruction and negativity, he is perpetuating a cycle of darkness. Everything around Durk dies. If everything about you is dying and nothing about you is positive, we can't look at him and find one positive thing in what he says. White continued, this statement is a scathing condemnation of Durk's influence, questioning whether his music and public persona are contributing to the larger societal issues surrounding violence, crime, and the glorification of a dangerous lifestyle. The accusations against Durk are part of a broader narrative that has plagued the rap industry for years. While the music itself often reflects the harsh realities of street life, it also raises the question of whether the lines between art and reality have become too blurred. Durk, who has built his career on a raw portrayal of his experiences, now finds himself in the eye of a storm where the authenticity of his persona is being questioned, not just by fans and critics but by those within his inner circle. If the rumors of betrayal are true, Durk's legacy could be tarnished not just by his criminal involvement but by a deeper betrayal that extends beyond the streets into the very relationships that helped shape his rise to stardom. As the legal battles unfold and the rumors continue to swirl, the future of Lil Durk remains uncertain. Whether or not the accusations against him hold weight, they serve as a reminder of the precariousness of loyalty in a world where alliances are often forged and broken in the pursuit of power, fame, and survival. If Durk is indeed implicated in betraying those closest to him, it could mark a significant shift in the public's perception of him, one that may be hard to recover from, especially in an industry that thrives on image and authenticity. Rap about his appearance. Charleston's opinion of him is evident from the way he portrays himself to children. They won't even tell you that you'll receive a life sentence for murder. However, in his accusations, he goes into further detail about how Durk betrayed his partner King Val. At another point, Charleston claims that Durk beat the case and put it on Val, saying, "Come on, I see that Durk wasn't no killer, V was." He then goes into further detail about how V was a killer and Durk wasn't the rest of them. He then makes the outrageous claim that the reason V is so famous is because of the people he killed. We all know for a fact that King Von was released from jail to become a big star because the witnesses turned up dead. Charleston White is referring to an incident that happened in 2019 where both Von and Durk were arrested and charged with a shooting, and somehow Durk miraculously got away with it. Charleston believes it's because Durk handed himself in to the police in May 2019 after snitching on Val Yiyu. The episode was significant at the time, and he even wrote a song called Turn Main about it. He was detained and charged with criminal attempt to commit murder, aggravated assault, involvement in criminal street gang activity, possession of a handgun during the commission of a crime, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, along with his buddy King Val Yu, who is also an OTF member. A felon after King Val was murdered in October 2022. After almost 3 years of fighting the case, the charges were mysteriously dropped. The courts claimed this was because there was insufficient evidence, which is odd because there was allegedly video evidence of Durk pulling the trigger. Following a 3-year trial, police first stated that there was video proof of Durk driving outside the restaurant and discharging a pistol in the February 2019 incident outside of an Atlanta restaurant. Charges were dropped, with the official explanation being that the facts of the case had been reviewed and that despite the fact that there was probable cause for the defendant's arrest, the decision at this time was not to prosecute. However, some people like Charleston White believe there is more to the story and suggest that Durk actually provided information about Val Wu to the police in order to have the charges dropped. This isn't the only time that people have accused Durk of snitching. Some have also claimed that he snitted on Young Thug. As you are likely aware, Young Thug has been fighting a RICO case for the past few years, and these cases carry severe penalties. Isn't it a little strange that Durk chose to acknowledge that he called Young Thug and told him that all the people he shot had been involved in that RICO? When you know that the prosecution is already using Young Thug's lyrics against him. I phoned Thug and told him, every time I shoot, you have to admit that's a crazy thing to say in a song. Someone commented, I'm having a hard time understanding how this means that Durk snitched on Thug. A recent post sparked a heated discussion online with one user asking, are you trying to say this could be used as evidence against him in court? The debate centered around a controversial set of lyrics by Lil Durk, leading some to wonder why he would even make such statements publicly in a song. As the comment section exploded with opinions, it became clear that the situation raised a number of critical questions. Could these lyrics be incriminating, or are they simply exaggerated, boasting lyrics for the sake of the song? Either way, the debate brought to light two possibilities. Either Durk is snitching or his lyrics are fabricated for artistic effect, often referred to as cap. The whole situation, whether based in truth or fiction, wouldn't exactly come as a shock to those familiar with the dynamics of Durk's crew, OTF Only the Family. For years, OTF has garnered a reputation for its association with alleged informants, and this debate adds fuel to that fire. The idea that Durk could be involved in any form of snitching wouldn't be too out of character, according to some who point to the reputation of his gang. If anything, it's the culture of street loyalty and betrayal within the rap world that makes these kinds of rumors seem plausible. One comment even drew parallels to Young Thug's situation, suggesting that if one of the rap world's most notorious snitches was willing to expose everything for his own gain, then Durk might be following a similar path. It's a harsh but not entirely improbable comparison. The most controversial element in this entire discussion, however, involves the alleged behavior of OTF Jam, one of the key members of Durk's crew. According to claims circulating online, OTF Jam has been working with law enforcement for over a decade, allegedly wearing a wire for 12 years and providing crucial information that implicates not only Durk but several other members of the OTF collective. If these rumors hold any weight, it suggests a disturbing pattern of betrayal within the inner circle, further fueling the belief that loyalty within the gang might be dangerously unreliable. What adds to the intrigue is the timing surrounding OTF Jam's alleged cooperation with authorities. According to reports, Jam was serving a 12-year prison sentence when he was unexpectedly released, and shortly after his release, several violent incidents involving Durk's associates, including the shooting at Rondo and his cousin, occurred. This sequence of events has raised even more eyebrows. Was the timing just a coincidence, or was Jam's release connected to the unfolding drama and alleged deals with law enforcement? These questions only amplify the suspicion that Durk and his crew are entangled in something far more complex than their music and street personas might suggest. Much like Young Thug's lyrics, which some fans and critics believe reveal far too much about the criminal activities he is tied to, Durk's own music is coming under intense scrutiny. His lyrics, which often touch on topics such as violence, street life, and even betrayals within his crew, have led many to wonder if they hold a hidden truth. Some of his recent songs seem to echo events and scenarios that align with the accusations against OTF Jam, further blurring the line between reality and artistic exaggeration. It's not just about the music anymore, it's about the potential real-life consequences of speaking too freely in songs, whether intentionally or not. As this debate rages on, the idea of rap lyrics being used as court evidence continues to provoke strong reactions. The notion that something as simple as a lyric could be the key to unraveling a larger conspiracy has become a controversial talking point, particularly in the context of Durk's career and his association with OTF. If indeed OTF Jam has been secretly cooperating with the authorities, then these lyrics might not just be fictional bravado but potential clues to real criminal activity. With the FBI's attention now focused on some of the most influential figures in rap, Durk's situation could very well be more dire than many fans realize. In the end, the question remains, are these just the exaggerated words of an artist trying to maintain his street credibility, or do they point to something darker and more damaging? As rumors continue to swirl and public interest grows, Durk's future may very well hinge on the answers to these pressing questions. Whether or not his lyrics come back to haunt him in a courtroom, the truth about his connections and his crew's loyalty or lack thereof may soon become all too clear. One user responded that they had been wearing wire for many years and they could be correct. What else do the cops know, and who else may be going down with Durk if OTF Jam was really snitching and Durk is indeed cooked? Since OTF Jam is a relatively obscure Chicago rapper, it shouldn't come as a huge surprise if you haven't heard of him. Let another Chicago rapper explain the problem. King Yella is his name, and he has discussed OTF Jam and what Durk and his team should know about it. Look, Lil Durk has been taken by the federal government. I'm not sure if he's been charged with anything, but I heard someone named OTF Jam say that they've been calling him a rat. He basically said, okay, I'm a rat, and then went on to discuss the terrible consequences for Durk and his crew. As I mentioned in my previous video, if someone mentions Durk's name, that's all it will take to say that man's name. Of course, if they come, he then says how messed up the whole thing is, someone telling someone from OTF who is OTF affiliated and knows enough about Lil Durk and his crew, and it's messed up, which is why I'll be saying, I don't care how much money you got, what's going on, man. Jam is one of them. Perhaps Durk sensed it beforehand and thought it was coming. He knew something was coming because everyone kept saying that he was attempting to avoid the fact that Rico had been saying this. Therefore, if everyone else knew, you would believe he wasn't in his head and that Mama Duck was suing him for it. The fact that he has even released songs about the Jam snitching scenario makes it even more bizarre. Yes, that is correct. Jam has allegedly released a diss track in which he talks about Durk and other OTF affiliated members being involved in shootings. However, this isn't the first time that Jam has released a suspicious song. It's called Federal Freestyle, and no, that's not a joke. It was even posted on Durk's official YouTube channel shortly after he was released from jail. Some of the comments made by fans of Jam are pretty funny, including one that read, I Jam, turn your wire up this she and somebody else put this. I came home wearing a wire and still made this track in jail. That's some nasty work. It appears that OTF isn't as loyal as they claim to be. Speaking with DJ Vlad, Wack 100 also left a comment on it. He said that he had been out for 12 years, that he kept it real, that he brought him cars, that he gave him $50,000, and that he had never been a rat and had never been caught in a gun case. Eventually, though, he flipped DJ. After revealing that Jam had served a 12-year prison sentence for attempted murder in 2010, Vlad emphasized how ironic it was that Jam was released shortly before Pab was shot. This is beginning to appear to be a major conspiracy, and who knows how much dirt the feds actually have on Durk and his crew if one of their officials in the event that one of the 5 co-conspirators who have already been detained chooses to talk to the authorities. Members like Jam who are already snitching may push others to do the same. Even though Durk is done, it's ironic and somewhat depressing because he didn't even want to be a gangster anymore. In September 2024, nearly exactly 1 month prior to his arrest, Durk was celebrating the fact that his criminal record had finally been cleared. Having spent the majority of his life in trouble with the law, he was thrilled to learn that he had been given a new opportunity to change his ways. He first shared the news on Twitter, writing, "Everyone should get second chances at life. It's about what you do with it." He then thanked God for his good fortune, saying, "Thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone who helped push my vision forward." If you're wondering what was on his criminal record, it all started in 2011 when he was sentenced to 18 months in jail for weapons charges, and things pretty much went south from there. 2 years after his arrest, the police found him in cuffs again, this time for the same offense, and he managed to escape with just probation. A few gun charges are fairly normal if you're from the Chicago hood, but what's not typical is getting your record wiped clean. It appears that Durk was appreciative and even had plans to improve the infamous city. In fact, he loved the city so much that he gave the mayor a substantial sum of money, $150,000, which sounds exactly like a bribe. When asked about his relationship with Durk, Mayor Brandon Johnson actively denied any wrongdoing, which is a little suspicious because Durk raps about violence and murder in every song. However, it's possible that he was merely trying to help, so it's unclear if this was a bribe. The mayor declined to comment on the matter regarding the money. Unfortunately for the mayor, now that Durk is back in jail, he won't be able to keep the money that people are requesting. If he truly cared about the city, he could give it back or perhaps donate it. That's what Durk would have wanted before his arrest. Even as a gangbanger, Chicago gave Durk the keys to the city because of his support. They write these things. It's supposed to be an honorary gesture that gives credit to those who do good things for a city, but in reality, these keys are being distributed to anyone but good guys. After all, Diddy is another person who received the same treatment last year. The mayor gave him the key to New York, and the crazy thing about Diddy's situation is that right after he gave it to Diddy, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, was charged with a crime. Chicago has something to hide, too, and I wouldn't be shocked if he did. It appears that Chicago politicians are making a valiant effort to mend the harm that their endorsement of Durk Banks has caused. The mayor stated that the village of Broadview is taking away our honorary key to the village in light of the news that Durk L. Banks was arrested in Florida and charged with murder for hire. They also discussed ending their partnership with his charity and said they were ending their partnership agreement with his neighborhood youth organization, the Heroes Foundation. Even though Durk liked Chicago, he was also assisting other cities on June 1st, 2023. Therefore, it's probably better if they aren't connected to alleged killers. Although it's unclear what Durk's true intentions were, it seemed like he was attempting to turn over a fresh leaf when he helped a homeless man in Los Angeles. I'm sure the man was grateful for the assistance. According to reports, Durk discovered Pedro Ramirez, a homeless man, and reportedly handed him a new phone in addition to a 30-day hotel stay. Durk's act of kindness was motivated by the fact that the man had recently gone viral for playing Durk's song with J. Cole, "All My Life," from outside of his tent. What's interesting about the song is that Durk frequently talks about trying to change his ways and be a more positive influence in the song. He even mentions sitting down with politicians, saying, "I've sat with the mayor and politicians. I'm trying to change the image." But it is highly coincidental that Durk chose to assist a homeless person in LA of all places, especially since that is where the shooting took place and where he will be held accountable for it. Keep in mind that the police are claiming that Durk is a criminal mastermind. Might this have been a plan to get away with his crimes? We can all agree that the boys are savvy if Durk really planned that far in advance. Alternatively, he could have merely desired a new beginning, but his violent background came back to haunt him. Return to torment him. All Block, which is considered the origin of drill, is home to Durk and several other well-known and aggressive rappers from Chicago. Back in the 2010s, Chief Keef was the musical trailblazer, and Durk followed soon after. Sprang to fame quickly with their violent songs that portrayed street life. Although Chicago was already rife with gang beats before music became well-known, the primary rivalry between the two gangs, the Gangster Disciples and the Black Disciples, was Durk participating in. The Disciples of Black, although the beef remained mostly in Chicago for years, it began to spread and other people were drawn into it, which is why V was killed in the end. If you were unaware, it began with V's beef with an NBA young boy, which led to him having a beef with Quando Rondo, which in turn led to the fate shootout that resulted in V's death. In other words, this was the catalyst for a lengthy series of events that ended with Von dead and now.